You guys ever wonder why we get upset about our roommates being loud? You can go to Coachella with fans of 80,000 people. I believe that's how many people go. And hear like their nonchalant sounds and hear the concert music. It's music sometimes you don't even like. People throwing up and all that and like unpleasant sounds combined with music you don't like and hot weather. And we call that the happiest place on earth. But when you're at home and say someone's making dishes sounds, clanking forks and plates back and forth and stuff, why does that frustrate us? Like right now I'm in a house filled with three other guys, and right now we have a friend over and they're being loud, but like you could feed two wolves in the situation. You could get upset at them and be that guy, or you could just deal with it. And I'm not saying you deal with it every time, but like, why do people get so upset about it? Deal with it. Like I'm not the quietest guy either, so I guess that's how some people should try to think of it. It's definitely harder to think like that. Anyways, this is the Dom Joseph Podcast, episode 23. Thank you guys so much for joining. Let's get right into this one. Oh, shit. It's stank in here. For all my blues fans, this is Mike Griffin. The blues ain't ever gonna die.
Black as night, cold as ice. She left me. She didn't think twice. I thought.
She didn't think twice, man. Wow, that is Mike Griffin. The blues ain't ever gonna die. And man, I that's what I want my intro music to be. I want it to be blues. Life is all about the blues. Everything you do is blues, A lot of people who are big rock heads and metal heads, they eventually turn into blues heads. I'm not saying I'm a blues heads guy, but I definitely do love me some blues, especially that blues guitar. It really lets you see the color blue a little clearer. Yeah, like here's the thing about blues to me. It just speaks a little bit, so I think it's just the guitars hit a little harder to me, and same with metal guitar. But anyway, we're not here to talk about blues guitar as much as I would love to. This is not a blues guitar podcast. So, what happened this week? I went back home, and that was great. But I had this really fun idea that I thought I would do with you guys on the podcast today, and that idea comes from, just seeing people do Q&As. So what I have here is a magical box that I used to hold actually my Yu-Gi-Oh cards in. I don't know if anyone played Yu-Gi-Oh who's listening to this, but I have a box right here that contains 250 questions. I'm not going to answer all of them, but I'm going to pull a handful out, and then I'm going to answer all of them. These are completely random. These aren't like, NSFW, so don't worry about like, anything gross or anything, because if I make it gross, then it will be like that. But these are PG-13, I believe, until all the questions are PG-13, but I may turn them to an R thing. So, welcome to the show, guys. Again, my name is Dom Joseph, and let's get this started. This is the Q&A session number 1. Today is October 1st, Tuesday, 2019. I hope you guys are listening within the week. So here we go. Question 1. What is the funniest thing you've done or had happen while your mind was wandering? Wow. I've definitely, wow. I have definitely checked someone out, like a girl out, and my mind was just wandering, and like I was just totally like not being like a perv about it, but like I was just looking at her because she was like really pretty, and I got like the sternest look I've ever gotten, and yeah, that's probably the most, like the most thing that comes to mind with that. So, um, yeah. So question 2: what is the craziest video you've ever seen? Man, I was in I was in driver's ed, and they showed us this video, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna show you guys not to be, you guys got to be careful when you drive." And I was like, "Okay." So they showed us this car in the ice swerving back and forth, and then the semi swerved back and forth, and then like the semi hit, or the car hit the semi head on, and the car literally just like exploded. And I couldn't imagine what it would be like to be that person. Like, that would be insane. Could you imagine getting hit by a fucking semi truck? And literally not even, seeing the whole thing happen, you swerving, and there's nothing you could do. You can't get out of your car, your seatbelt's on, and you're just bracing for that hit, and like your body and what it's ready for. It's, you're going to try to flex for it, but it ain't going to do nothing. That's fucking nuts. Question 3, let's get on to it. What is the best lesson you've learned from a work of fiction? Work of fiction. So fake. A lot of people ask me what kind of books I read, fiction or nonfiction. I believe fiction is the fake one. What is man, that's a good question. I think the realest thing I've learned from fiction would be from some songs. I listen to some songs that I feel like aren't just necessarily true. I could probably pull a lot of SpongeBob things out that I've learned, but if I had to go with anything, just anything I've probably seen on, like, man, I honestly wish I could give you guys a better answer. This is pathetic here. I've learned a lot of stuff from fiction, and I would probably go as easy to say probably children's books, and say that is probably, the realest things I've learned. Count Your Blessings kind of thing was a child's book. My mom used to tell us to read when we were little. We'd read that in Montessori too, Count Your Blessings, and that was it's also real, but it also is in like a fiction pop art book. Definitely, Count Your Blessings every day. Because there's a lot of people who are suffering, and to take a side turn onto this, I'm not saying this for clout or anything, but I had this, I was driving back home, and I saw this sign that said, a leukemia fundraiser garage sale. And I went to breakfast with my grandpa, and, I was thinking about that garage sale sign the whole time. And after, I wrote the address down, like, on my phone. I put it in Waze. Waze is like a map app, where you can figure out where to go. And I went after breakfast. Me and my grandpa actually won a football pool, which is like where we pick teams to, go win. And then we won the week this week, so we got paid. And I think it just felt right to go give that money. I didn't give all of it to them, but I went to the garage sale and asked the lady who was running it. I said, "Is this, the leukemia garage sale?" And she said, "Yes, it is." And then, I just got right out and shook her hand, told her, my name's Dom Joseph, and this is, how this is what I'm going to do to help, and I just gave her $60, and I know I could have used that $60 on something else, but it definitely made me feel a little bit better. And I told myself I didn't really want to bring this up on the podcast. But I just want someone to, I hope someone spreads that. And I couldn't imagine if someone close to me had, leukemia. So definitely, count your blessings. It's one of those things that I feel like not a lot of people do. And you never really start counting your blessings until something bad goes wrong. So just try to do it a little sooner. But let's get off the the sadness. I don't want to make you guys all like, fuck, man, I need to fucking go do something, because it's totally up to whatever you want to do in your life. So let's move on to question 4, I believe we are on. When was the last time you facepalmed? Wow, I facepalm a lot. Okay, I was in class, and I'm in a class with like 300 other people. And they were talking about certain laws and certain things, and it was regarding, I think, abortion. And this guy raised his hand, and he was one of those guys you see raise their hand, and you're like, oh no, like this guy's gonna say something dumb. And I don't remember what he said exactly, but whatever he said triggered the whole entire classroom. And I just like facepalmed. I'm just like, I felt bad for the guy. And I was also like, dude, you got to bite your tongue in this kind of situation. That was probably the last time I facepalmed in class. Question 5. If you had to disappear and start a whole new life, what would you want your new life to look like? I'd want it to be identical to the life I have now. So far, I've had a very, very well childhood, like a very great childhood. Like I said before, think of me like Moses, just floating down the Nile, having a great time, meeting people along the way. Obviously, there were some sticks in the river, and there were some currents on some sides, but it definitely was a great thing. And if I were to restart it, I don't know, maybe I would. I'd probably play sports a little sooner. But other than that, I don't know. I like how I've turned out, and I would just relive this life, and I'd like do the same things, and maybe there's a couple opportunities to ask certain people out. I'd probably go do that when the time was right, or not say stupid things on dates. That's a big thing. How many of you guys have said like something dumb on a date? Oh man. You'll say something dumb on a date, and you're just, fuck, in your head, you're just pissed. Like, why did I even say that, I've done that, not a lot, but I've definitely done my fair share of, like, fuck, man, shouldn't have said that. In anything, in class, I'll raise my hand and say something dumb. Like, one time I was in class, and we were talking about feminism, and I'm all for women equality. And, I didn't know what feminist meant. I didn't know the true definition of one. And my only knowledge of feminists were like the feminists who are like social justice warriors and like say they hate men and men are shit. That was my only acknowledgement for feminism. And for those of you guys who do not know, feminism is, just the equality for women. And like you are for it. And, the teacher poses a question and says, who in here is a feminist? And I see everybody raise their hand, and I looked around like this, like, and I didn't think anything of it. And all of a sudden, I had every eye in the room looking at me, looking like I hated women, and the teacher was grilling me in front of the whole class. And I just interrupted her mid-sentence. I said, I don't even know what the definition is. So how are you going to yell at me about something I don't even know? I had to defend myself, man, in a class setting. But, then everyone's like, oh, he doesn't know, whatever. He's whatever. That was a time of not knowing what I was doing. So, moving on to question 6. What was the most historic thing that has happened in your lifetime? If I were to choose anything that is the most historic thing in my lifetime, It'd probably be 9/11, I think. I know that's a cop-out. Honestly, no, I don't really remember much of 9/11, so I can't really say that. But I've seen the impact it's done. I'd see Trump getting elected. That's pretty fucking big. Obama winning 2 times. I've seen a lot of historical things happen in my reservation back home. I saw a lot of legendary sports moments that have happened. I saw Ray Allen's 3 against the Spurs in the Heat. That shot me in the heart. Billy Cundiff's missed field goal against the Patriots in the 2011 AFC Championship. Yeah, I've seen quite a bit. But nothing I could really pinpoint and say, like, oh, Facebook starting. Seeing the evolution of Tinder and evolutions of a lot of things and a lot of apps. Remember Angry Birds was the #1 selling game at a time? That's pretty historic. Next question. What's something that everyone agrees we should change, but somehow it never changes? What is something that never changes that everyone wants to change? I'd say like the cop out, student loans. That's not going anywhere. As much as we want it all to leave, that's definitely not going anywhere. The inequality of men and women, or women essentially. But there are people out there doing their part and getting their shit done and making it fucking amazing, split down the middle. But I was talking to my buddy about this, and there's a power shift going on, and this is not talking about gender, but I'm talking about race right now. Right now race is there's a power shift right now of whites and minorities, and the power shift, the white people don't want to see minorities change. Anyway, this is political. I don't even want to talk about it. Basically, one side doesn't want to give up their thing, and there's a conflict, and they get mad at each other, and that's just the conflict that's going on, I believe. After I was told that by my buddy. Again, I'm not trying to be political. Let's get this a little bit lightened up. All right. What bit of trivia do you know that is very interesting but is also very useless? What bit of trivia do I know that is a bit useless? For those of you guys who do not know, Barnum and Bailey's Clown College is actually statistically harder to get into than Harvard. Yeah, Barnum and Bailey's Clown College, where they train you to be a clown and how to do your stunts and makeup and all that, is statistically harder to get into than Harvard. Take that one home to your parents. Shout out to Steve-O for that one. Definitely remember that one from his book. Go check that out. That was a pretty good book that I read by his Steve-O's book. Steve-O from Jackass. For the next one, we have what always cheers you up when you think about it. Seeing little pictures of my cousins, seeing pictures of my dog back home in like glasses or like a cool costume or something. That's pretty fucking cool. A full fridge, that's stuff I want to eat and that's healthy for me. Not necessarily like Twinkies or anything or like anything gross or anything sugar related. But like if I got like a can of green beans in the pantry, some rice, a thing of chicken, some salsa, an apple, I'm good. I'm happy, That always cheers me up, even if I'm having a bad day and I have food, or if I see an empty gym when I really want to just go to the gym. That's really cool too. What do we got here? What's the best story of you or someone else trying to be sneaky and failing miserably? Wow, I have a great one for this. My 3 buddies used to love to climb rooftops. And I don't know if they would want me to share this story, but I'm not going to share their name, so I hope they're okay with it. Um, they were climbing rooftops, middle schools and just like little places around, the town that we lived in. And they were climbing a roof at some middle school, and they got caught by not being sneaky enough. One of them was not sneaky enough. The other two on the roof, and the cops came, started interrogating them, and one of the guys had a grappling hook in his backpack, and the cops were like, "What is this?" They let them go. They weren't up to anything other than just climbing. They weren't stealing anything, but they were very unsneaky about that. I also have a story of a friend that shall, be nameless. This was in high school, and he was being kind of weird, and he was taking pictures of people. And I don't know what he was doing. He was just taking pictures of people. And he took a picture. I don't remember who he was taking a picture of. And the lights were off in the room, and the flash went on. And my other buddy, said, "Oh, what are you taking a picture of me?" And kind of lightened the mood a little bit. But this guy definitely was taking a picture of someone in the classroom. Kind of weird, I know, but he was definitely not successful in being sneaky in that situation. So, next question. We have, what's some insider knowledge that people in your line of work have? So my line of work is this, podcasting. If there's anything that I think our industry or our hobby or our network or anything that we know, I believe it would be something around how to put your voice on the air, cleanly. I wish I could tell you I knew some Area 51 knowledge, because I don't. But no, I wish I had some cool knowledge to share you guys, but even if I did, would I tell you? I don't know. So we're just going to go on to the next question about that one. What animal would you most like to eat? Man, I love chicken. But, I think this question is going in the direction of what animals don't you get to eat, and what animal would you like to eat? I would love to see what a fucking giraffe tastes like. That neck meat, man. It's gotta taste somewhat a little bit good, I'd love to taste some giraffe meat. I'd also love to taste some. I bet you penguin tastes fine. It's a bird. There's a lot of things I think I would like to eat, but there's not really domesticated, or they're not domesticated, but they're not really farmed. Yeah, definitely giraffe. That would be cool. That would be epic to say I ate a giraffe, or maybe like a rhinoceros. That would be cool. Like something cool to hear. And I don't want them to, I don't want someone to just shoot one in the neck and say, "All right, Dom wanted to eat this animal. I'd want to eat one," that went out peacefully. They said, "All right, we're going to conserve this giraffe and we're going to cook it in a nice way." I definitely want to try some giraffe. Watch it be like really grainy. What could be the clickbait titles of some popular movies? What? Let's read that again. What would be the clickbait titles of some popular movies? Talladega Nights, you could say something like, two friends reunite after wife dumps him. Dumb and Dumber, two guys outsmart the drug cartel. The Hangover, the dentist dumps his bitch girlfriend. Something like that. Those are the things I would do. Another question we have. What habit do you have now that you wish you started much earlier? Working out and putting myself first and learning to say no. those are definitely the biggest things I've learned. And saying no and not wanting to do something you don't want to do is so relieving, dude. Like, wow, that, like, if someone says, hey man, you want to go do this, and I say no, their feelings ain't hurt, and if they are, it's minimized, and they're like, oh, well, at least he didn't, lead me on. It's so much better. And then working out, it helps me mentally and it helps me physically. Those are definitely the things I would, because, in high school, I would say yes to everyone, trying to please everyone. And even in college, like when I first started, I'd do that too. Now it's like, hey, I got to do me. That's a big thing for me. If you had a HUD that showed 3 stats about any person you looked at, what 3 stats would you want it to show? Wow. I'd want to know if they're single. Like, yeah, I'm looking at a girl and I want to know if they're single. Their favorite hobby. And if they've killed anyone. No, I do not want to know that, because I'd walk by someone and I'd see they killed someone. They're just walking around like a normal person. I would not want to know that. I'd want to know their favorite band, if they're single or not, and I don't know, their Instagram handle, so I can look them up on Insta. Yeah, I know that's lame, but I don't really care about their height. I could see that. I don't need to know their weight. I don't need to know anything else. I'd almost go as far as saying the things I said were already kind of creepy. So I mean, like, okay. Next question. What was the best thing that has happened to you today? I went to Walmart, worked out. That's about it. Those are some great things. I got some classwork done. I got to do some editing after this. But definitely I think the best thing that has happened to me was just, waking up and being healthy. Sure, I'm a little bit sick, but hey, what can you do? Next question. When was the most inappropriate time you busted out laughing? Oh, man, I've done this so many times. Me and my cousin Darian, man, we laugh at everything. I remember we were in class together, and it's only funny to laugh when you're not allowed to laugh. If you notice that, like, you're in class, you're in work, or, you're in a movie, somebody says something dumb, and then you're just sitting there, like, trying not to laugh. Those are the funniest times that I'm supposed to not laugh. And just because I'm not supposed to laugh, those are funny. So definitely any time that I'm not supposed to laugh is definitely a time I've bursted out laughing and gotten in trouble. Next question. What animal or plant do you think should be renamed? Animal. I think every animal kind of has a heroic name. Let's go to plant, though. I think, actually, I've changed Orange's name. Like, the orange is so lame. Like, orange. Can we change the orange name because they're the color of it, and that's the name of the fruit? Like, I'm kind of annoyed at that a little bit. I wouldn't mind changing, the orange name to, like, circular tangerine. I guess that's really lame too. I don't know what I would rename anything. I'm not really good at renaming. But there are some names of streets that I'm like, why are we going to name it after him? That guy didn't do anything. He just fucking, I don't know. It's just some lame stuff. What trend are you tired of? I'm tired of people being fake. I know that's fucking weak. I'm tired of flakes. Telling people that you want to do something, and then they pull out last second. It's just kind of not cool. I mean, if you don't want to go, just don't go. Don't hype everyone up saying you're gonna go do it and not do it. I'm not saying this from a place of hurt or anything, but I know it frustrates me when it happens, and also when it happens to other people. But you know what else frustrates me is when I sneeze in class and nobody wants to fucking give me a bless, Are we Are we too offended now? Are we too, do we get too butthurt nowadays when somebody says bless you? Did I miss the memo? I'll I'll sneeze and nobody gives me a bless you. But the girl next to me or the guy next to me, gets a sneeze and they get 10 bless yous. Did I miss the memo? Are you supposed to sneeze at a certain pitch, or are you supposed to sneeze, in your arm? Because that's what I do. Are you supposed to spit it on people, and whoever you spit it on blesses you? Is that how we do it now? Because all of a sudden, people don't know how to cover their mouth when they sneeze. When you sneeze, it's like the dab or whatever. You put your hand in your shoulder, your elbow, or your elbow. But apparently, Dom's out here, trying to make sure nobody gets germs. I just want to get blessed. That's all I really care about. Some people are rude in public. People cough. I've had someone cough on me in public. They just straight up, like on me. Like I felt the spit on my face. I almost went off on the girl. She didn't look like she was from here, but that's still no excuse to fucking cough on someone. The hell? Man. Anyways, though, this has been episode 23 of the Dominick Joseph podcast. Today was a question and answer kind of day. Apologies for that if you guys weren't really a question and answer type of person. But, yeah, I'll definitely be back next week, and we will talk about more things. Thank you guys so much for listening, and have a great one.